I really regretted the idea of making this video because I'm a support main in Rivals, and honestly, I've never really played Spider-Man, so getting to learn him and actually play him was a very big jump for me. But I feel like it turned out well, so I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and let's get into Spider-Man, the meat-slinging menace.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Nice.
So, the first step to mastering Spider-Man is understanding his kit. To begin with, we have his passive, which is completely and utterly useless. Now I know you're thinking, wait, but Ginger, he's got a passive. Shouldn't it be pretty good? Wrong! It is completely useless. It's this stupid little ring around his head that tells you when you're in danger while you're actively putting yourself in danger, as if you don't know you're already in danger. They should take this little stupid Spidey sense off Spider-Man and give it to someone with a hunker down playstyle like Penny. She could use it so much more. But I digress. Now, your first ability on Spider-Man is your web sling, which is basically your get out of jail free card, if you will. Honestly, it's more used for mobility and getting into fights, but also it's very important for getting out of fights. Now, the next ability that you'll probably be using the absolute most is the Spider Tracer. This ability is basically your long-ranged attack that sets up combos for other things. So your next ability is your E, which is a pull. If you have a Spider Tracer attached to a person, you will pull to them. If you don't have a Spider Tracer attached to a person, you will pull them to you, which also sets up for combos and team play abilities and all sorts of different things. It's like a whole can of worms with this character. Now, your last, and I'd say probably one of the most important abilities you have as this character is your uppercut. Almost every single combo that you have in this game relies on this uppercut to actually land. If you do not land this uppercut, you will not get the kill. More like 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 dentists recommend using your uppercut to hit someone with it. It is unbelievably important. And it makes you feel like a Mortal Kombat character, so it's pretty cool. Also, I did absolutely lie to you. He does still have one more ability that is very, very, very important to know about. The absolute most important part of his kit, just the bread and butter, the most important thing that you can possibly use as a Spider-Man player. Gooning.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Should I know?
Nah, I'm just kidding. That's just a specific emote. I do use it a lot, though, especially whenever there's a Luna Frost standing in front of me. Oh, I will get in there. Oh. Alright, now that we've finished talking about Spider-Man's abilities, everything from his web sling to his Spider Tracer to his pull, his passive, even gooning. And who doesn't love talking about gooning? We are finally on to his ultimate. Spider-Man's ultimate is a large AoE that lasts for about 3 seconds, and after 1 second, enemies in the AoE will get webbed up, making them vulnerable to all attacks, and they get all of their abilities disabled. Honestly, if you see a Spider-Man swing into your backline and you think he has his ult, it's better to just like completely ignore him and just immediately go back to spawn, because the only thing that can really counter him is stuns like Bucky Hook, Luna Freeze, Mantis Sleep, those kinds of stuns, Emma Frost Choke Slam. The only thing that could really benefit your supports, honestly, is if they're able to get out, like Cloak and Dagger with her Fade, or a Mag Bubble. But other than that, it's really just the graveyard for your supports if they get dove by a Spider-Man by his ult. Alright, so now that we've finally finished talking about Spider-Man's kit, we can now start talking about the most important thing about him, which is his playstyle. Spider-Man is a dive/flank character who usually goes in and tries to get picks on supports while the front line is being pressured by his team's tanks, and more times than not is completely and utterly not successful. Most times, if you are not very good at Spider-Man, you are going to get your cheeks clapped harder than you ever thought you possibly could. The biggest thing that you need to learn whenever you're playing Spider-Man is pressure. When to apply pressure and how to apply pressure. Say your tanks are in the front line, attacking, whatever, messing with their tanks, doing the good old horizontal hokey pokey in the front. You go in the back, you try to capture one support's attention, maybe even get a pick on them for as long as you possibly can. You need to be up in their face, getting their attention off of their tanks so they aren't getting healed for as long as you possibly can. That is the way that you become good at Spider-Man. It doesn't even matter that much if you get final hits. You can get damage. Of course you need damage, don't get me wrong. But as long as you are distracting the enemy team and keeping them from doing their job, you will make it as Spider-Man. I promise. Now you might be thinking, but Ginger, I'm not good at his combos. I don't have the game sense to go in and capture a support's attention. Every time I go in, it just feels like the entire team turns around immediately. Well, my friend, you should not be going in. If their entire team is able to turn around and look at you in the split second that you jump in that backline, you are not doing it right. You want them to be fighting your front line rather than only fighting you, because a 6v6 is always easier than a 1v6, and everybody in this game knows that. You just need to learn timing, placement. You need to watch from above. I mean, Spider-Man can stick to walls. You need to watch from above and figure out what your team's doing, what the enemy team's doing. If the Luna Snow in the back of the enemy team's line is pumping out heals and not being bothered at all, but her tanks and her DPS are off in Neverland trying to figure out how they can crumple your team, you need to go and you need to snap that Luna Snow's kneecaps and send her back to the spawn room. You need to hit her with the goodbye, back to the lobby. It is the most important part of playing any dive character, not just Spider-Man. Learn your timing, your positioning, and how to dive. Now, I've already yapped a lot about placement, positioning, Spider-Man's kit, all of this, all of that, his ultimate, gooning, everything, his terrible passive, whatever. Now, we're gonna go ahead and get into a couple of just beginner, just straight up, run-of-the-mill combos that you see in every single game. Now, to start out with these combos, I would absolutely not call myself an expert at Spidey. I probably have maybe 15 hours on him, But the biggest thing about him, like I said before, is placement, whatever, knowing how to dive, blah, 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 blah. We're not talking about that anymore. No, Ginger. Wrong. But his combos are very, I want to say simple, but they do require a lot of button mashing. Honestly, I mean, he doesn't really, he's not like a character like Magic where you can go in, you can press shift, left click, E, left click, punch. That's a Magic combo that kills in one hit. That's not Spider-Man. Spider-Man has way more button mashing involved, and it's just a whole lot of tedium to try and play this character, which is why so many people aren't playing this character right now. But the biggest problem with him is that big content creators like Necros and all of them love playing Spidey just because he's fun, he's got a high skill ceiling and all of that, whatever. It's just all... It takes a very, very long time to get used to Spidey's combos. And it also takes not having a job to get used to Spidey's combos. Alright, so the first combo that I ever learned on Spider-Man was his basic bread and butter combo. Basically, you hit a spider tracer, you pull to them, and then you uppercut. Now, that bot was already low health, so I'll show you on this bot right here. You do a lot of damage with this combo, but it is not a kill yet. So, if you follow it up by double jumping and ground slamming by pressing left click, it will leave the enemy at this tiny little sliver of health. So, to remedy that problem, you would right click, E, F, right click, and then ground slam again to get the confirmed kill. Now, it is very, very difficult to hit a moving target with the right click while you're double jumping and ground slamming at the same time. So let's go over here and let's try to do it on one of these guys. So here's the combo. Now, if he was doing any directional input, it would be very, very hard for me to be able to actually finish that off. But honestly, as long as you are sitting around and you are absolutely pestering the enemy team, you're messing with them, you're doing it, whatever, you're just up in their face, you're boom, 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 wow, whatever, just hitting buttons, honestly. As long as you're alive and at your PC using your keyboard, boom, you're good. Now, the next combo that I learned with Spider-Man was another very basic one, just basically just different inputs for different things. So you hit the right click, you pull to the E, but instead of uppercutting, while they have the spider tracer on them, you would do your left click. So you deal more damage, and then you use your right click again, and then you uppercut. So it would look slowed down, something like this. Now, of course, during your gameplay loop, it's not going to be that slow. All it really takes to get these combos down is practice and repetition. That is basically everything in life. If you take practice and repetition seriously and you apply that to your entire life, it will pay off in dividends. It is the most important thing in life. Practice and repetition. You start something, you practice it if you want to be good at it. If you do not want to be good at it, you don't practice it. You sit that thing back down. You better not even do it. So, sped up, it looks like this. Oh, I messed it up. The left click didn't go fast enough. That's what it looks like sped up. Now, this one's a little tricky to hit too, which obviously, I mean, these guys aren't sitting still. If I were to do it on one of these guys over here, it would be much different. You saw how he tried to move towards me. If he tried to move backwards at all, he probably would have gotten away. It's very possible that that guy would have gotten away. Now, the last and final combo that I'm going to teach you today is going to be another very basic one. You double jump, ground slam, web tracer. Wait, no. You double trump. Hello? What are we talking about right now? You double jump, tracer, ground slam, tracer again, and uppercut. So this is what it would look like. Boom, boom. Now, of course, it's not that slow in game. It would be more like something like that. Very fast time to kill. Not everybody gets these combos. I know, it was hard for me to begin with. I don't really use anything other than the bread and butter really though, but you get the gist. He's a very, very fun character. You know, he's just... There's so much that goes into learning how to play Spider-Man. It gets really difficult once you reach like the tippy, like the really difficult combos. Like there's this web pull combo I want to show you where you do all of that. I just did like 15 button presses. So you double jump, you web swing, you right click, you jump, you uppercut, you shift, and then you E. And then you hope and pray that you hit your target because you're too focused on the buttons to actually aim. But that's how the pull combo works. Now other people will just like walk off to an edge and then just do that. Whatever. Wow, you're so cool. That's so awesome. Where you really get the brownie points and where people really start calling you a good Spider-Man player is whenever you do that combo right there. See, like I just missed it. You know, it's very difficult to pull off in a game, especially whenever people are moving around, but it pays off. It really does. All right, so now that we are finally finished with talking about Spider-Man, his combos, all of his intricacies, you know, all of his tedium that you have to go through to be able to play him, I do want to say that it was extremely fun learning how to play him and just making this video all in all. I mean, making videos is brand new to me. This is the first video I've ever made. Like, this is the first actual full-length video that I've ever made, so I'm kind of patting myself on the back right now. But also, it's been my dream to make videos like this for a very, very long time. And if you've actually stuck around long enough to see this little bit of me at the end, I am so thankful for you. I actually am. Like, you could stomp my face. You're like Emma Frost to me right now. Emma Frost is so hot. You could curb stomp me, and I would say thank you. Honestly, like, it was just so much fun. It was so much fun learning Spider-Man. It was so much fun making this video, being able to see everyone's comments, you know, just let me know what you thought of it, and like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Also follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/obsginger. Forgot to mention that.
You smell like you farted.